Welcome everyone in this new live development video about building an auto battle game. In this video we're going to make it so we can't drop our units on the enemy battlefield, and that we can't drag and drop units while in combat phase. These units and enemy units as well. So we're gonna have an error regarding the drop on the other side of the battlefield, and we do not care about this. So how are we going to do this? Square are going to have a variable called b local square, like this, and this is going to be public and exposed on spawn. And grid are going to have a variable local as well, b local. And this is going to be public, and this is going to be in grid, for example. By default this is going to be false, and bench and shop are going to have that true by default, like this. And when a grid spawn its grid, oh, we don't need to put that. We don't need to make this exposed on spawn because we can't set this. We can only say that in here when we cast that into a square, we set its local. Oh, we spelled that local square. We only want to spell that local, to call that local, and this is local as well, and we want to grab that and put that here. And we want to have a new function called set local grid, like this. We want to put this in grid, for example, and when we do this, we do that, and we grab all of our squares, get values. We want to loop through all of them, and we want to tell them that they are local now. Like this. And we want to call this be local. Oh crap. Is local grid, like this. So by default all grids are going to be local. Oh, and now we have an error. Why? And we have two of them and we shouldn't. That's quite strange. I guess that's because the values of the stuff we dropped on the battlefield have been reset. Is it for that reason? We're not even using the variable yet, so I'm failing to see where we might have we don't have the bench, we don't have stuff like this. So if we don't say this is local, obviously it doesn't matter. We're building the grid still. We're not building the grid here. So we have this and that. And we also have, so the issue here is that they are all okay. The index of our fight zone here have been reset indeed, and I don't know why, because they are they are set here. It says that we only have all of our battlefield, all of our fight zones have the 0 ID for some reason. We'll just restart the project real quick. So if we're hitting play, okay, it's working again. That was frightening. This might means that in package mode it won't work. We'll see, we'll have the proper video dedicated to that. So we are setting the local states in here, and we are giving our local state to our own fight zone here when our player state is being initialized, I think. Get player fight zone, we're going to call this get local fight zone, and in there we're going to tell our fight zone that it is local. Set local battlefield, that's not it. Are we even calling that function? Set local battlefield. Oh yeah, we were offsetting the camera pivot here of our fight zone. So this is not how we want to call that function. We want to be calling that function offset if the fight zone, our first fight zone, I think we don't need to be calling this here. We can be doing this in our fight zone when it's being set to local. So set local grid, we're going to open up our fight zone and override set local grid. We're going to call this, we're going to pull this here, and this is what we want to offset, and this is what we want to, so we can get rid of this, go back here, pull this here, so we can do this here when we set the fact that this grid is local. We can hit compile, hit save. It's gonna throw an error somewhere, the place where we removed, the place where we were calling the fact that, yep, this is a local fight zone. Alright, so when we set the fight zone to be local, in here when we set the local grid to, when we set the grid to be local, it tells all of the squares to be local, so this should be working, I guess. And to make sure it is working, we'll implement the next logic, which is to make it so our in-game player controller can't focus. So in our focus, find focus square, in there we'll check if the square is actually local. If it is not, we won't be able to interact with it. So if we are indeed looking at a square which is not local, we won't be able to interact with it. Yep. So we cannot drop units in there anymore, and we cannot drop units in our own fight zone, which means we are not calling the event when we find our local fight zone here. We need to be calling set local fight zone. set local grid to true. And we still can't. But we have a start of a logic, since we can see here we can drag and drop our units. But we can drop them here. So why can't we? So we're finding our local fight zone, and we are telling the fight zone that this is now a local grid, which tells we're gonna do something else here. We're gonna get local. We have something called local grid. What is this? Oh yeah, so we already, what is that? This is kind of strange. We don't have any variable called this way, but it appears here, so that's really strange. But hey, so we'll see if this is even triggering. This should be. Okay, so the issue here is that it's not even triggering, because the in-game player states actually never calling get local fight zone. Yep, so we need to be calling this once to trigger it. Send combat data when we are binding ourselves to the game state. That sounds silly, but we'll just make this not pure. Oh no, sorry, not that. Control Z, Control W, I don't know. Control Z, I think. So send combat data, get local fight zone. We want to make this not pure, and we want to be calling this here, and we want to find where was it called already. In there, we'll put that here and hit compile, and now we should be able to see the print string, but we shouldn't have that many though. And we're not offset, our camera is offset. Set local grid. If the grid is local, we're going to offset the camera. That sounds strange, that there is something wrong with this. Okay, but apparently that was the problem. So now we can only interact with our own battlefield. Oh, there was a problem there. Oh, there are problems there. What is the problem here? Problems lies within the fact that we are so yeah, there's a problem, but I'm not sure which one. We're just gonna restart our editor real quick. We'll make that bigger. So what's the problem? So we shouldn't be focusing that unit anymore. Okay, but I think I know what's the issue here regarding the focus. I think we might have forgotten to rewire something when we modify the player in-game controller. We'll just quickly enable the controller debug function. So what's the issue here? Oh, the combat phase started, and I still add the knight focused. Apparently it went well. I don't know. I don't manage to make it bug, but I'm not sure why. I don't even know why it was bugging. Oh, was there a bug there? Oh yeah, there definitely was a bug there. Yeah, and once more. Okay, so and we have tons of units here. Okay, we have 23 knights apparently. Oh no, I didn't want to start the combat phase, yeah. So I don't think these bugs come from the fact that we moved the units in the other side, but in the same time we never had. Oh no, we have the bug at that moment. But I had the feeling that we had fixed that bug. Okay, we created that bug when we fixed the fact that when we were dropping the unit on itself it was bugging. So we created the swap bug, the fact that we are increasing the amount of units we have. And I will just extend the duration of the phase real quick. Like this, hitting play. So first, let's get rid of that print. If I remember correctly, it was like in the grid when we set it to local. We don't want that anymore. So when we put the grunt here and move it, everything is fine. When we put the warrior, everything goes fine. But when we drop them on top of one another, It's bugging here, but we don't have these bugs of teleportation. We only have them once we start putting our units there, or when we start cancelling our drag and drop by moving our units elsewhere. We've done that, and now we don't seem to be able to trigger the bug unless we start drag and dropping our units there, I feel. Yep. Okay, so we found two bugs, which we won't fix in that video, but we know what triggers them. Okay, so that's fine. So what about, but we have another issue now that we can't drop units there. It also means we can't focus them on the battlefield, and we have to take care about this. So we'll make sure we can, and we'll also remove the controller prints like this. So how can we make it so when they are on the battlefield we can focus them? How can we do this? That's actually when a combat unit is being pulled. When a combat unit is being pulled, get out of the pool. It's gonna start answering to the mesh, maybe. The mesh is gonna, so it has no collision right now, but if it becomes focusable, it's gonna overlap with itself. So this will become focusable, I guess. We'll see if that works. So when we get this out of the way, set collision profile name focusable like this, and we're gonna say when it gets back to pooled, we're gonna remove the collision. We'll just make, actually it's gonna be easier. We'll just say this is a focusable unit, and it's that's just a focusable unit, yeah, like this, and we're gonna turn this on and off. Set collision enabled. When it's being pulled, it has no collision. When we put it on the battlefield, it has one. And now we need to go to our in-game player controller. Whoops, where are we? I'm gonna add this to our favorites, and we want the in-game player controller, and we try to focus a square. So we can focus units. Can we focus and unfocus units? So when we unfocus a square, we tell the unit it's no longer being focused. So for now, we'll just build a simple thing that tells us if our collision stuff worked. So if our hit actor is not a square, it might be a unit, a combat unit actually. And if that's the case, we'll print something. We'll print its name, get unit row, current feature, like this. And in any case, we're going to unfocus the square. Okay. So we put this here, we go there, and we don't have any prints. So are we doing this properly? We're looking for everything that reacts to focus. Maybe we failed to properly set this up, so we're gonna check these two checkboxes. Query only when we're going to make it collision enabled both. We're gonna pull that guy here, and we still don't have any prints. What doesn't work? We're looking for everything. We're looking for everything that reacts to focus. Maybe it doesn't have, maybe the skeletal mesh doesn't have maybe the collision mesh, the skeletal mesh doesn't have a physics asset, but I doubt it. For example, if I open up the footman, that one, I think it has physics. Yeah, so I think all units have physics. We'll re-enable the controller. I think I understand what's going on here. We'll re-enable the controller and we'll see if that tells us something. We don't have what don't we have here? We are drawing this, but we are not seeing it. What if it's larger? Okay, we are clearly seeing it now. And what if we go here? I think the problems lies in the fact that we're not eating. So our sphere is drawn on the ground. If we make that like 100, I think it might work. I wonder why. Okay, because there is a player. So this is the second player camera controller, and I think we want to tell our camera controller that it's not going to be replicated at all. This doesn't replicate. We're not replicating the movement. Yeah, this guy only have one, but this guy has two. Why do I have two? That's kind of strange. We just want to take care of this real quick. I don't want that at all. I want the camera character, which will move in-game like this. We'll make that only relevant to owner. And the server is still gonna get one. So it doesn't matter for now. So if we're doing this, it's gonna mess up the rest of our logic, but we don't care for now. We still don't have any reaction, but it's finding so that's kind of strange. It should be reacting. We'll leave it this way for now, as big. We just want to check. And what if we say that we're tracing for a complex collision? We still don't have any prints. Unit row. What if we only said this? So we have nothing. We're enabling the collisions there. What if we say it blocks everything? We still don't have. Yeah, we're looking for everything that reacts to focus, like we were saying previously, and we told our mesh that it was actually reacting to focus, and this is a focusable, and this works. So why wouldn't it work? We're going to remove that logic, and we'll leave this focusable by default. So it's not working. I'm thinking, but I'm not really understanding why it's failing to work. Are we disabling the collision on this at any point? No, we're not. At least it's no longer connected. Oh, that's because it's not the first actor we hit, I suppose, because we're hitting the... Okay, so we're hitting the square. Okay. So we need to grab like the second one. We need to grab like every of these hits. If we do this, it's gonna work, I guess. For each loop with break, we're looping through all of these. And if we find something, we're going to break the loop. And I think this is gonna work now. The square was the first one getting hit. No, we still don't have any prints. Okay, so... And it created the blink issue. We're no longer grabbing the first... Yeah, we're no longer grabbing the first result, so it doesn't like it. It keeps swinging from a square to another. We don't want that. Oh, we don't want to get rid of the branch. We only want to get rid of this. Yep. So the issue here is that we need to be checking the other. That's a problem. We can't be solving this easily right now, so we'll just leave this for now. So it's gonna wrap up that video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, even if we created some bugs, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.